Visible Welding is pleased to present a series of video presentations covering the WeldWatch-EDU Weld Tutoring System, which was developed with major funding by the U.S. Navy through the NSRP program. This video will discuss some simple lesson formats for weld tutoring with video. These are based on the actual trials and results of early instructors' tests. Hi, I'm Steve Edelson, President of Visible Welding. We've been testing the WeldWatch-EDU system in the field for several months now, and we've got some good results from instructors who've tried different techniques, and I want to share them with you, so if you get a system, you'll know things to do and maybe some things not to do, so you don't have to repeat the errors. Typically, the first thing everybody wants to do with it is a demo, of course. So they would weld with the camera and it'd be on the screen so the students could see it. Now, they can watch it live, but sometimes even better if you record some beforehand, you can show them to the students while you're not welding, and then you're in better position to narrate. You can pause and show them details and so on that you couldn't do if you were under the helmet. The system, as you know, has a port on it. This is a screen that's standard. It's the 12-inch screen. But if you have a big class, you want a bigger screen than this. And there's an HDMI port right on the side. Will connect to any big monitor, whether it's a big screen TV like a big Sony to go down to Best Buy, or a computer monitor. And now you've got a setup that is easy to show to 10 or 20 students, and everybody can see, not just the people in front. The idea of the demo really is to be able to show them through the camera more than you could see live. Not just the bigger screen, but you get the opportunity by moving the camera to show them different angles, show them what it looks like from in front where the puddle is, or maybe from behind, the left side, the right side. Whatever point you're trying to make, you can make several different videos and then show them to the students so they see a lot more than they would in a live demo. The typical second thing that you want to do with it is a tutorial station. And so in that case, you would take a student over and spend 10-15 minutes with them to get them so they have the proper stroke and their skills are to the point where they're ready to go practice by themselves. You want them to be able to practice the right things, not practice the wrong things. So while the student is welding, you can watch live and coach them, tell them your arc's too long, pull it in, you're going too fast, maybe whatever it is, the angle, and get them going smoothly. After the demo's over, after their weld session's over, you can then review it and show them, here's where I was telling you were going too fast. You see how this looks on the screen? You see how the volts and the amps are going at that graph? And you can even then tie it back into the metal piece. You can say, see here, see this porosity? That's where I was telling you your arc was too long. Or here's where you had contamination. And so that ability to tie in both the welding action of the student and the metal and the volts and amps gives them the full picture of what was going on. So then when they go back to their booth to practice, they have a much better mental image of what's going on under the torch, even though they can't quite see it as well there. So that's the first tutorial, 10-15 minutes. Go over with them 2-3 times until you feel like they've got the basic idea. Obviously, they're not perfected it yet, but they can go back and do it on their own. Some instructors have found that students, especially people who are falling behind and just can't quite get past one skill, they've been doing well, but they're stuck. And that happens all the time. What they've done with them, and it seems to work pretty well, is they'll start with that same 10-15 minute tutorial, but then instead of sending them back to the booth, say, stay here and weld and let the camera record it, and then you can watch it and then weld. And so they get to do their own review and get to see what it is over and over. And they might do this for an hour, even in the afternoon. And the experience has been that after this time, every student who's been through this tutorial and this remedial thing, believe it or not, has come up with a coupon that's ready to pass their test. So far, it's been very effective. Obviously, it takes a lot of time, but you as the instructor can walk away. Just leave the students, computers don't scare them, they just dive right into it. The third thing that's been done pretty effectively is to have students tutor students. And I know it sounds a little bit like the blind leading the blind, but after you give them the basics and you get them going, what we found is that the students who are watching the screen and have to comment and coach the other student, this forces them to think critically. They've had the theory, they've had the explanation, but now they're in the teaching role, and they really have to try and understand what's going on and what ought to be done differently. And that seems to be surprisingly effective. Another side benefit is this sort of friendly competition seems to break out, where they want to see who gets the best video, who gets a passing coupon faster. And we thought maybe in the future, maybe an instructor would set this up so students do this and maybe they save their best video and then the class can vote. And maybe whoever gets the best video down on tape gets a t-shirt, or maybe they just get a hearty pat on the back. But as you know, it's more the recognition than the reward. Last thing that's been tried, and this goes into the what not to do category, is some instructors have used it for testing. And the idea was if they can get the student welding on video and save that as a test, that would be a good way to have a permanent record. And this seems to have backfired. What happens is the students now, with pressure on them, it's not a lesson, it's a test. They freeze up, their hands shake, they tend to hate the machine, they don't want to go near it. And so our advice on testing when using the machine is don't do it. Thank you very much. I'm Steve Edelson, and this is the WeldWatch-EDU. As we say, watch the weld, perfect the weld. Thanks a lot.